Hey everybody, it's Nikki, the Outreach Director from Arizona Wildlife Federation, and I wanted to show you a little bit of my garden. So this is my backyard porch, covered porch. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and that wall of green that you're looking at is mostly made up of passion vines, two different types. I'm going to get a little closer so you can see them. One of the reasons I'm showing this off today is because this is the afternoon sun. It's about 1:30. Hits this different times of day. It actually hits it at a different angle, and we were getting a lot of sun coming in the French doors, and it was pretty hot. So we wanted something to kind of shield that, but also to give a little bit of a privacy screen. And under the porch gives a lot of, now with that green, it's really a nice serene kind of enclosed space with a lot of bit of temperature control. So here we are a little bit closer to the passion vines. Like I said, there's two different types, the darker green glossy leaves and these amazingly bright purple flowers are from a non-native passion vine that I got at one of the nurseries in town. And then contrast that with the flowers from the native passion vine. Here it is. It's smaller and less brilliantly purple than the non-native passion vine, but still lovely nonetheless. And there it is next to its lighter green leaves. They have that fuzzy coating. You can see in the background the glossy green leaves. So again, there's two different types of passion vine flowing through here. The part that I thought you might be interested in looking at, this is the fruit of the native passion vine, and it stays green like this. It never does get that purple coloring that you see in the grocery stores of the pictures of passion vine fruit, but it still tastes the same. So it has this nice little cage around it, I'm guessing to protect it from animals that might eat it as it ripens, and it takes a long time to ripen, easily 3 weeks, sometimes a couple months to ripen these guys. And the color never changes, but this little cage will kind of wither a bit. And then I come along every day and just kind of give it a little tug. And if it falls off in my hand, it's ready to eat. If it doesn't, it needs to stay on there a little longer. But you kind of open it like a little bag of chips, this whole pod. And inside is this snotty looking stuff with little gray seeds in it. And it's clear and it tastes wonderful, like just tropical fruit, kiwi mixed with banana, yummy stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I put passion vine out. Let's see if I can follow this. Gulf fritillary butterflies are very active. Oh, and there she goes. Over the course of today, there's been 3 chasing each other around, fighting for this territory. Because this is such good territory for them. A great place to lay the eggs. The little caterpillars absolutely love eating these leaves. Oh, there she is. She's laying an egg right now. It's wonderful. There it is. Let's see if we can get closer so you can see that egg. There's a little miracle right there happening. So that little yellow dot. Let me get that in focus a little bit better. That's the egg that butterfly's right next to another one. Egg that the butterfly just laid. There's actually a third one I can see in that same little patch. So those passion vines really create a marvelous habitat. And you can see some of the holes that the caterpillars are creating in the leaves, but there's really not all that much damage. Now here is one of those Gulf fritillary caterpillars growing away, eating away on the leaves. Considering how many eggs are around here, there's probably tons of little guys. And we'll go around and see what else we can find when we peer deep in there. Within a couple weeks really is their growing span, and then they'll get in the chrysalis. And then emerge as a butterfly a couple weeks later. Kind of temperature related, of course. Right now it's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. Here's an old chrysalis. I've been looking through this 30 feet worth of passion vine fencing to find a new chrysalis for you, and haven't found one yet. But here's an old one. It's somebody launched out from. You can see how it's a brown curled leaf, and it just looks like the brown curled leaf that's just right above it. So it's really hard to find. I bet I've walked right past them and haven't seen them yet. Now here is that passion vine wall from the inside of the porch, and you can see how much shade it produces, and just a wonderful little cozy nook to enjoy the peace and serenity in the backyard without all the heat. Phoenix is getting hotter and hotter, so little places like this are really nice respite. I don't have any misters up, although if I did, that would be a wonderful way to water this plant, make it even more jungly. These are all in pots, so of course the question I get is, how often do I have to water them? I do soaker hose for about 15 minutes, about every few days actually. Because it's kind of creating its own humidity back here, it doesn't dry out as fast. Now I'll increase that. This is just April, it's Earth Day. I'll be increasing that in the summertime. But I do this by hand because I have such a small area. And then, you know, if it rains, and I don't have to turn it on. So I monitor that by hand. So gardens are one of the many ways that you can mitigate for climate change. And you get so many other benefits from it. It's just beautiful, you get things to eat, it's fun, it's great exercise, it's good for your health, good for the planet's health, good for wildlife. Oh my God, I can just go on and on about how wonderful gardens are. And gardens, you know, a lot of us have this idea of formal gardens, and they really don't need to be that way. They can really be informal. They can be a couple pots. I've grown passion vine for years now. This is the first time that they've ever gone this crazy. It's wonderful. Usually every year I have some plant that just does amazingly well. And really what's helping it a lot is that chicken wire fencing for it to grow on. But this just took off last fall, even though the plant's been growing for a couple of years now. And again, I've never transplanted them, so the little white pot you can kind of see in the middle of your screen, that's barely a gallon-sized pot. That's where one of these native passion vine stems is flowing from. And there's three other pots actually right beside it, and they're the same size. And then the non-native passion vine is a 5-gallon pot. So they really go far with very little. You can do a lot with just pots on your porch. You know, give it a whirl. People also confess to me quite a bit that they're concerned that their plants will die. Well, plants do that. That's just kind of the cycle of life. In fact, a lot of plants will live only a few weeks. Others will live years and years and thousands of years. So if it dies, you know, that gives you an opportunity to try something new, try a different variety, put it in a different spot. Don't feel bad, just keep trying.